Hello, and welcome to Your Vote Counts, a public, informational, nonpartisan program designed to get the public acquainted with the candidates that are vying for this 2022 general election, the races of Congressional District 6, Senate Districts 10 and 11, House Districts 17 through 23, Salem City Council, and Marion County Commissioner. These interviews come to you through the producers at Capital Community Media, through collaboration on questions and volunteer moderators from Association of University Women, Salem City Club, League of Women Voters of Marion and Polk Counties, and we're grateful for that. All 27 candidates for these races were invited, and all but 5 chose to participate. Candidates did not receive the questions prepared by the League of Women Voters ahead of time. Candidates were invited to prepare a 2-minute opening addressing their background and qualifications for the office, and as well as a 2-minute closing to talk about their goals for the office if they're elected. I'm Bernadine Anderson with the League of Women Voters of Marion and Polk County, and I would like to introduce you today to Raquel Moore Green, who is running for Senate District number 10. Candidate Moore Green, welcome, and we look forward to your 2-minute opening remarks.
Thank you so much, Dee Dee. It's nice to see you, and it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. Hello, my name is Raquel Moore Green, and I'm State Representative in House District 19, South Salem, Turner, and Almsville. And I am a candidate for Senate District 10, which is Salem, West Salem, Monmouth, and Independence. It's an honor and a privilege to serve my community. My professional background spans nearly 47 years. Some of the fields I've worked in include civil engineering, retail, automotive, manufacturing, aerospace, transportation, and nonprofit health and human services. My studies at a community college focused on English and business administration. I have a proven record of an ability to develop and implement multifaceted programs that meet and exceed objectives. I've been recognized as a leader, able to build highly motivated teams focused on achieving positive community outcomes, maintaining integrity, and meeting all regulatory requirements. 3 years ago, the opportunity arose for me to put to work in the state legislature what I have learned along the way. In that time, I have served on the following House committees: Healthcare, the Environment and Natural Resources, Conduct, and as Vice Chair in the Behavioral Health Committee. I'm also a member of the Joint Committee on Conduct. Additionally, I serve on the Governor's Education Recovery Committee, the Behavioral Health Transformation Work Group, and the Parental Relocation Work Group I established based on the concerns brought forth to me by a constituent who had experienced a lengthy and difficult legal process around child custody.
Thank you. Those are good opening remarks, and now we would look forward to hearing about your opinion on some questions today.
Wonderful.
Our first one, we're going to start with a big one. What are your thoughts regarding inflation, the Inflation Reduction Act, as well as the infrastructure bill? And of those, what elements do you think would benefit Oregon?
Wow, that's a wonderful question, and it is something that it is a concern of Oregonians. I know this from being on the doors and talking with constituents and being in the community. And the infrastructure package has got some interesting, let me get my words around this, the wind energy with the placement of the windmills in the ocean, so off the coast of Oregon, southern Oregon. And this is something that a colleague and I brought forth this in the long session in 21 was a bill that would study how that could come about here in Oregon. And so that would be of great benefit to us. The reduction, the Inflation Reduction Act, I think there were some things in there that would benefit businesses. I've heard that there were some tax credits there and some other items that obviously would be of benefit to all Oregonians.
Thank you. Related to part of your answer is this question. What do you think about the renewable energy tax credits?
Oh, well, anytime that we want to help organizations and individuals move in a particular direction, giving an incentive up front when things are new oftentimes allows people the ability to, financially, number one, to afford to do something different that is going to cost them a little bit more money out of their own pocket. And in the process of doing that, then it's shared with others what's going on and the results of those initiatives. And in my mind, it removes the angst from programs that are new or different that people may want to migrate towards.
Let's take another financial question, and this relates to Oregon's unique kicker policy.
Mm.
What impact do you think it has on financial accountability and stability in our Oregon government?
In government. Well, it's a constitutional piece, and the kicker comes back to Oregonians, and it's always been the excess, right, that's been raised, and so we have a revenue raising mechanisms in order to fund the services of the state, and if we raise more than what we need. Well, then, it should be given back. It's kind of like, just went through my mind, it's kind of like the Almsville Corn Festival. They grow more corn out there than what they need. And so they give it away. They give it back to the community. And so, from my perspective, it's, maybe good budgeting. You budgeted your what you think you're going to spend, you budget in what you think you need to raise, and lo and behold, the economy is doing better than anticipated, and we have had record revenues. I mean, the last forecast that we had, I mean, we've got record revenue for the state at the moment. So there's also the rainy day fund, but that's another issue. So yes, I think that there's it's a good mechanism. It works. It's worked for us for many years. And I do believe that with the record revenue that we have, and we know that there's a big kicker that will be coming back to Oregonians, more than ever, Oregonians are going to be able to use those funds. I mean, here again on the doors, I hear people who are, trying to put things together. I work one job, my wife works part-time, but we're still struggling because the cost of gasoline has gone up. The cost of daycare has gone up. So I do know that those funds will be put to good use.
Thank you. You mentioned there just at the last about teaching and childcare. So our question then is, how should we address teacher shortages that Oregon is currently experiencing?
Mm-hmm. I had a long conversation with the new president at Western Oregon University earlier this week. And, Western has a history of turning out teachers. It's our teaching college here in Oregon. And he was sharing the need for us to take a serious look at the pay for teachers. And we need to somehow address that piece of it, because it is it's a profession just like anything else, and one that should be paid relative, to the effort and the investment that is made on the side of the student, so to speak, the person getting the education. And I also, in addition to that, I do believe that one of the things that is a result of the pandemic and the shutdown of our schools and the isolation and the added stressors to all of that across the board, we stopped midstream just suddenly, and we didn't go back. And we're caught there trying to work from home, trying to parent from home, trying to just live out our normal lives. And that created an enormous amount of stress. And, for our teachers, for our nurses, for our doctors, for those who continue to provide services, we have found that in conjunction with providing some bonus pays, because the legislature did allocate money for bonuses to teachers. We allocated money to districts, and it was up to districts how to spend that. And it's my understanding that the majority of districts did spend on teacher bonuses and compensation for the extra work during the pandemic. And what I want to get to here is the behavioral health supports that the teachers need, and the opportunity to have rooms and areas within their workplace that they can go and they can take a breather during the day, and have resources to call after hours to talk to somebody if they've had a tough day. So I think those things are important, and I think when young people looking at the opportunity to go into teaching, to see that it is supported, not only financially, but from a health and wellness point of view, hopefully that will motivate more to enter.
You mentioned in the last part of your question about mental, emotional stress. So if you wish to add to it anymore, we wondered if there are steps that we could add to address Oregon's youth mental health needs.
Yeah, so I think so. And, I'm a big upstream person in that, and what I mean by that is prevention. What are we doing first in the home? What are we doing in the home setting to ensure that our children aren't overly stressed by the stress that the parents already had? I had a meeting with Liberty House earlier this week, and one of the things that was shared was that when the stressors are at home with mom and dad, or mom or dad, the family unit, the adults in the family unit, the kids feel that. We know that, and so if we can start upstream with the family, making sure that the family has the supports they need to do the job that they have in front of them, then that helps to relieve the stress for the kids. And then conversely, for the children, for children to feel safe at school is very important. Are my surroundings safe? I'm going to walk to the bus, or I'm going to walk down the school, down to the school if you're within walking distance. And from the time I leave home to the time I get there, am I going to feel safe? And safe can mean a lot of things to a lot of different students. Can I get across the street? Can I get onto the bus? Will there be somebody there to greet me, to make me feel welcomed? And then I think in the school setting, it's important also to have, time to be able to celebrate and reflect, perhaps daily, on the good things we have in life, because there are a lot of good things we have. And, simply put, the matter for me, often days, the fact that the sun is shining is a good thing here in the Mid-Valley, and I think we need to find those small things. But, there are students who struggle with mental health, and having the ability and the resources, having the resources available and making sure that parents know that those resources are there is terribly important.
You touched on safety, and safety does mean a lot of different things to all of us. But I'd like to address one, the CDC public health statistics on injuries and death from shootings. Mm-hmm. How do you want to address open discussion around guns in our society?
I think in the state of Oregon, we need to have a statewide conversation on this. And, I think we do know that the people who do own guns and are responsible, they are, and they're not the ones committing the crimes. Suicide is a very complicated, difficult topic. and one that's incredibly personal for our family. We lost our 27-year-old son-in-law to suicide about 5 years ago. So it is a difficult conversation, and I do think that it is one that needs to be held at a statewide level. And what I mean by that is that I think we need to have, communities come together and talk about it, and then take that information and filter through it. And I think that with leadership who is willing to take on those difficult discussions, it can happen. And I think we can have good results for Oregon, because I think one of the things I've known about living here in Salem, and I think it's true because I've seen it with my colleagues across the state, we represent communities that care.
Thank you. Now, candidate Moore Green, you are invited to share your 2-minute closing comments about your goals for this office if elected, or any points that you still wanted to make.
Let me just take a moment to compose. Thank you.
Sorry.
It's okay. First and foremost, I want to thank the League and City Club, AAUW, and CC Media for making this possible. I love this community. It's been home to our family for 27 years, and we've raised 2 of our 3 children here, and 3 of our 13 grandchildren reside in the area. We're invested in this community, and it's been good to us. The business opportunities, the educational, cultural, and recreational options. This is a community that comes together to solve issues like meth and homelessness, foster families for children, reducing recidivism, and the list goes on. My parents taught me that if you've been blessed, you should bless others in return. For the first time, from our first years here in Salem, serving as the volunteer coordinator for the Awesome 3000 and the board of Salem Schools Foundation, supporting the Chamber's efforts through their leadership program, and continuing to serve and work on boards such as the Salem Police Foundation, working on an initiative for the Samanka Place for Women and Children, and the list goes on. My service to the state as a representative for the last 3 years has provided me additional opportunity to serve. And the majority of Oregonians think that our state is headed in the wrong direction, and I would agree. Increased crime, chronic homelessness, reduced high school graduation standards, and excessive rules and regulations that are driving businesses to leave. We need to restore balance to Salem, and I'm the candidate to do that. My name is Raquel Moore Green. I'm your state representative in House District 19, and it would be an honor and a pleasure to serve as your senator in Senate District 10. Your vote will affirm that the values of this community are education, safe communities, and businesses that thrive. Thank you so much.
Thank you, candidate Raquel Moore Green, running for Senate District 10. Your participation is appreciated. I also want to thank Capital Community Media for their extensive technology and producer skills that were used to create this program. Thanks to the League of Women Voters of Marion and Polk Counties for the design and preparation of the program, and to AAUW, Salem City Club, for their help with the question development and for providing volunteer moderators. And thanks to you, the public, for watching in order to become a more informed voter. For more local, state, and national voter information on candidates and ballot measures, we encourage you to visit the site vote411.org. You have until October 18th to register to vote or to make any changes in your registration. Ballots go out beginning October 19th, and according to a new law, they will be accepted and counted if postmarked before or on November 8th. Elections matter. Remember to vote because your vote counts.